guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do an update to a video I did about a week ago, which is titled, My Ex Abandoning Me and My Son to Follow Her Dreams. Now she's come crawling back, financially ruined. And guys, that video was all about a guy who was married to his wife for 14 years. And after 14 years of literally giving her everything she wanted in terms of material items, after 14 years, she decided to up and abandon both him and her teenage son to follow her dreams of starting a house flipping business in the hopes of becoming famous, with getting a show and all that, getting rich, that type of thing. Completely abandoned them. However, given the fact that she was terrible with money, a shopaholic, all that, a few years later, to no surprise, the business completely failed, crashed, she's broke, and now she's coming begging for a second chance to come back in her life. And mind you, for those of you who saw the story, she was the one that was saying that this guy and her son, her child, was holding her back. And now she's broke, begging for a second chance. She's learned her lesson. She's a new person, blah, blah, blah. And I went over that whole thing and essentially told the guy it was complete bullshit. She's not sorry. She just has no other options. And for those of you, in case you forgot in this story, for the 14 years they were married, he was making a darn good income. He was frugal, put away his money and all that. And he had to because she was spending it all. She was having an expensive car she couldn't afford based on her salary, clothes, designer clothes, handbags, purses, shoes, putting up the whole show, paying attention to what celebrities did on Instagram and TikTok and all that. She had some money coming in, but nothing compared to what he had, and nothing that would, help her finance that lifestyle. She's one of those. And the one time he says no to her, that's when she kicks him to the curb. And that's where it left off. And I might add that his son is the one that introduced him to this channel. Because his son, at a young age, become RP'd after that whole thing. And his son is tough as nails now. And the son doesn't want anything to do with her. And the story ended where pretty much he says, look, I'm not giving her a penny. That's it, it's over with, but she still wants to have me back, all that, asking my opinion. And also his son wanted to pretty much read his mom the riot act, and he didn't want his son to get involved. And I said, no, let your son, your son's a man now, he can do what he wants. If he wants to have nothing to do with his mom, that's his business. If he wants to, tell her exactly how much of a horrible mother she was, that's his business. But anyhow, this is going to pick up where it left off with her and the whole situation going on behind the scenes. It's pretty interesting. So it starts off, he says, hello again, Strong Successful Male. Thank you for telling my story. You and the viewers were a bit mixed on my opinion about my wife, but that is understandable since even my son said that I had been too nice with the way I've been handling my ex-wife. I want to reassure you and the audience that I will not be giving her any financial or emotional support, so don't worry about that. Okay, I was a bit concerned at the end of the story, man. It seemed like you were feeling sorry for her, and you may have caved and started giving her some money. I told you not to do it. And by the way, guys, when they divorced, he agreed to give her like a one-time, settlement, if you will, that would get him out of having to pay alimony or child support no matter what. And initially, it was a big price, but that saved him a lot more money down the road. It was the best deal, he could get. And of course, she blew all the money. But I was a little concerned that he was going to start giving her money again because he felt bad, because the guy obviously loved her for a long time. But he says no, so okay. He says, my son has also seen this video, and he was actually surprised when he realized that it was about our situation. He's given me his blessing to share more of our situation, since this update will mostly be about what he told me about his mom's situation and how she spent the money and how she eventually lost everything. Also, some information from some friends on why Lana wants back in, other than the fact that she is financially hurting right now. So first of all, my son has never fully forgiven his mother. According to him, she is a narcissist and deserves everything that has happened to her over the years. Well, in my opinion, I also think she's a narcissist. And she's seriously screwed up and has obviously got major problems with money and spending money and all that. That's not an excuse to make one feel bad for her. Those are her choices. I'm just saying what it is. He only talks to her to be in the loop with her failing business, as he's rooting for his mother to fail in life. He started talking to her 2 months after the divorce years ago and has been fake nice to her to get a front row seat to see her epic fail. Lana's business was actually pretty stupid, as she bought expensive properties to flip them and then tried reselling them for 2 to 3 times the original price, which almost no one ever bought. Well, duh. By flipping them, I mean she just changed the furniture and repainted some walls. She never went above and beyond to actually hire a carpenter or interior designers to make the house look better. Yeah, you're not going to sell a house 2 or 3 times the price you paid for it if you just gave it an interior paint job and a few odds and ends and not do anything else. So what the hell was she thinking? Again, she is a theater production artist, so she doesn't know jack shit about flipping houses other than what she saw from those TV shows. Paul was an even bigger fraud. Paul's the guy that this guy became her so-called business partner in this new venture. Paul was the guy who kind of got her in this idea, and which many people thought that Paul and her were hooking up before they got divorced. Paul told her that he would try to talk to his producer friends and TV executives to get them on the air. However, nothing ever came out of that. Well, big surprise there. Lana's second biggest mistake was leasing expensive cars and apartments while using the lump sum that she was awarded to fund her and Paul's celebrity lifestyles. Saw that coming a mile away. She cannot handle money. And of course, she's going to use the money that was supposed to be used for business to buy all this stuff. And probably the argument she probably had was, I need to show the successful professional image. Therefore, the expensive car, clothes, handbags to show success. But the problem is, it isn't just about that. It's her own ego. I don't want to give away the actual amount as to avoid any legal disputes if Lana ever finds the video, but let's just say it was around 7 figures. Holy crap, dude. 7 figures. If she had been smart with the money, it would have lasted her a lifetime, but she didn't. She squandered most of it on luxuries and more than half of it on her business. The business did not last very long, as once the pandemic hit, instead of being frugal and putting her businesses on hold, she thought it'd be a great idea to go into overdrive and try to get as many houses as possible and try to buy an expensive studio. At this point, she had quit her job to focus on the business and started to market and promote herself by contracting an advertising company, but never using them. Then she got a sale for one of her cheaper houses, and it fed her ego. She started to believe that she was the Elon Musk of real estate or something. This obviously, everything crumbled before the housing boom after as it began in the spring of 2020. So she had held on and not been stupid with her money, pissing it away on expensive cars and clothes and all that. The property she did buy actually would have shot up in value and she would have made some money. But she missed that one. Lana was so proud of the sale that she flew herself and Paul to Las Vegas multiple times to celebrate that one sale. Once COVID restrictions relaxed, she invited our son, but he declined. Think of it like the 2008 Celtics players boasting, celebrating, and parading their one championship season almost 14 years after it happened. Well, you can already guess that they were burning money with the business and with their lifestyle, so going to Vegas wasn't exactly the smartest idea. Yeah, but people like this, doesn't matter. It's the egos. They have to spend to make themselves feel better. And the second they buy that thing they're coveting, then all of a sudden it's like no big deal. It's like kids with toys. Spoiled kids with toys. No matter how many toys you get them, they're never happy. But they're craving that new toy and to show it off. And the second they get it, they're bored. On to the next one. The lump sum fund had taken a huge hit after almost 3 years of expenditures and was greatly reduced. I swear, SSM, I was both amazed and confused on how someone could spend so much in 3 years. I guess without me to budget Lana's spending, she didn't limit herself to what she could buy. Yeah, that's exactly it. And think that you, my friend, spent 14 years financing her lifestyle. And if you were having a voice as to what, if you were trying to limit some of the stuff she was spending, still, what you told in the previous story, how much she was spending on all this bullshit, in my opinion, holy crap. But now that no one is there to, monitor the purse strings and it's left up to her, again, I've known a few people like this in my life. I know one in particular. He has no self-control when it comes to money. It's unbelievable. Paul then ghosted her and took with him around $80,000 US dollars from their capital last year, and she had to close down the business as she had a lot of unpaid bills, taxes, and loans. She was also hit with a hefty fine for operating without correct permits. What a bonehead. The properties that she bought/acquired had to be resold for lower than what she bought, which caused her to lose even more money. Now, I wouldn't say that she's broke or anything, but she is on the verge of financial ruin after all this. That's called karma. She got what she deserved. You were great to her. And by the way, guys, in the other video, he made it clear that she's also very beautiful, good body, and a freak in the sheets. So we can see what the appeal was early on when he got together with her, and obviously he stayed with her all these years. And he said in the previous thing that she was a great wife or mother for 14 years. I questioned all that. I think that was rose-tinted glasses. I think that was, she was great on that level on the basis that he kept financing that lifestyle that she wanted. But the one time he said no to her about starting this crazy harebrained business because it was a bad plan, she kicks him to the curb like that. And not just abandons him, but also abandons the son. So this is karma. She deserves this. End of story. So how did this all happen? Well, Lana thought she and Paul could do both the house flipping and all the legal paperwork, which turned out to be she didn't do a very good job of. Thankfully for her, the lump sum got her out of trouble, and she was able to pay off the fines and other stuff. My son was completely aware of everything that was happening and kept in contact with his mom throughout all of this. He told me that he put on a fake smile and watched as she burnt money on her businesses and then went on expensive vacations. He also thought maybe sabotaging his mother's business, but he relented as his morals wouldn't let him do that, but there was no need to as the negligence on both Paul and Lana's part caused their downward spiral. I get your son's pissed. I get your son's hurt, abandoned, all that, but he doesn't have to do anything. He can just sit back and watch the blaze, watch the thing come crashing down. That's it. And I don't blame her being pissed and hurt and abandoned and all that, because this is his mom. If there's one woman in his life that he should be able to count on and trust and be there for him and love him, it's his mom, for God's sakes. And no, you're holding me back, as she said in the other video, and abandons him. I don't blame him the least for being pissed. I wouldn't be rubbing salt in the wound, but I certainly would be, I'm done. I'd walk away. End of story. Now he wants to rub it in his mother's face about the business and everything, and give her a piece of his mind. I decided not to interfere anymore as your recommendation. Don't. It's his business. He's a grown-ass man. I wouldn't be rubbing it in about her failings. I simply would making it clear you were a shitty mom by abandoning me and Dad and all that. For the one time Dad tells you no, Dad, you're a shitty mom there, and I don't trust you. There's no need to rub the salt in the wound about her business failures and all that, because believe me, she knows. But again, this is me at 44 years old. I'd probably feel differently at 23 or however age he is right now. If you remember in the last video, he walked out in the cafe after his mom tried to involve him in our conversation. I totally read the situation wrong as he walked out, not because he was upset, but because he didn't want his mother to think that he was on her side in all this. That was a conversation there in a cafe where she begged him to come meet with her because he hadn't seen her in years, and pretty much she put on this whole thing that I want to come back to you, and I'm sorry, and I'm a changed woman, I'm a better person, blah, blah, blah. And I said, bullshit. She's broke, she's desperate, she needs you to take her back so she can go back to that lifestyle that she had before, because she ruined it on her own. And that I stand by that opinion. My son and I spent almost the entire day talking on FaceTime about all this, and even though I'm a bit concerned about his lack of empathy towards his mom and him wishing to see her fail, after reading the comment section of your video, I can begin to understand that maybe I'm the one who's a little too forgiving. As it stands now, I've been ignoring Lana, and I have no reason or want to talk to her for the time being. I guess I will leave it to all my son to handle his mother, then afterwards I guess we could completely block her. Bro, you have no reason to talk to her anymore. None. Okay? You went through the divorce. You paid a big lump sum, which she used to piss away at this business idea and financing that crazy lifestyle, so that you wouldn't have to deal with her anymore. No more alimony payments, no child support payments, nothing. And now that your son is an adult, why if he was underage, then okay, that'd be a different ballgame. But you have no reason to talk to her anymore. And I know you want to keep saying she was a great mom for 14 years and all this, and I don't know everything. Obviously, I'm piecing together what you wrote to me. When I'm reading what you wrote to me and piecing things together, but still, actions say everything. And the fact that after 14 years you've given everything she wanted, and the one time you say no, she abandons you and your son and says you're holding me back. This is everything I need to know about her. I understand human nature pretty darn well, and she's back because she needs your resources. Period. So you have no reason to talk to her. Lastly, my son told me that Lana wanted our attention and validation again because she felt so degraded after being ghosted by Paul and needed us to build her up her self-worth again. I think there's a lot of truth to that, yes. I don't know why she needs the attention and validation of other people to build up her mental state, but me and my son do not want to partake in that. As I said before, women are a lot like plants. Women need attention and validation the way plants need water and sunshine. I once heard somebody say that. I forget who it is, but I've been saying that ever since because it's dead on, okay? She needs that attention and validation. And by the way, I'm guessing she is at this point probably mid to late 40s, I guess. I'm guessing here. So even if she's darn good looking for her age, she's not as appealing visually as she was when she was in her 20s in her prime. So she needs the attention and validation to make herself feel good, okay? It's never going to stop. When she's 80 years old, 90 years old, she lives that long, she's still going to want some attention and validation from men and other people and everything like that for her own self-worth and her own ego. It goes on. Now on to why Lana wants to be back in our lives other than for finances. Me and Lana have mutual friends, a married couple, that wanted to give me some more information about this. They have kept contact with Lana throughout the pandemic, and after speaking with my son, I went and had a chat with them. Let's call them Ben and Heather. They told me all kinds of things about Lana, especially Heather, who actually has juicy details about the ongoings of Lana's life post-divorce. I had a Zoom meeting with them the other day after talking to my son, and here's what I found out. That they had kept in contact with Lana since she was a regular customer for one of Ben's luxury bag suppliers. Lana had tried to lecture Ben and Heather on finances and spending. She's lecturing them on finances and spending, really? Which is basically her telling them to take big financial risks all the time with no recourse or backup plan in case of failure. Ben has actually tried to talk to her about her spending habits, but she shrugs it off, saying that money isn't a problem for her as she can always make more. No, she can always find someone to give her more. That's more like it. But notice that she's trying to advise these friends on how to handle things, business, money, all that, but she's terrible with it. People that are like this, they tend to also have to tell everybody else, oh, it's no big deal, there's always going to be money around, or there's another credit card I can charge it up to. They're warped in the head. I kid you not. According to them, Lana actually thought that she was the pseudo-breadwinner, budgeting expert of our relationship, and it was her financial choices that led to my wealth. She suggested to both Ben and Heather that she was scared that I might become broke, then come crawling back to her, as she wasn't there anymore to help me with my finances anymore. Is she freaking delusional? What is she smoking? The reason that you guys didn't weren't financially ruined is because you made darn good money and you were frugal, and essentially had to be frugal because of her pissing away on handbags and clothes and Mercedes and all that stuff. And why you never lay down the law with her early on about that, I will never know. Well, actually, I do know, because she was hot. She was beautiful. It made you look good with a hot wife. You said a freak in the sheets, so she definitely took care of you in that department. And if your son's watching this, well, welcome to real life, son. And that type of thing. Let's be honest what it really is. I guess Lana was oblivious to all the spending that she had done during our marriage, which is probably why she is now in financial ruin. Exactly. Heather also confirmed that she slept with Paul before our divorce was finalized. Aha. Now we all know. But she isn't sure she cheated before that. Well, I'm going to probably say yes. May be wrong, but usually how things go, there were things going on. There was some form of it. It could be emotional cheating, but some cheating was probably going on. Then it all led to one event that made them cut off Lana for good. Lana had advocated or hinted for Heather to divorce Ben on multiple occasions, which is extremely disrespectful as Ben was Lana's college friend. She saw single life in your 40s as the best thing ever during that time. What I tell you guys about who your friends hang out, who your girl hangs out with? Right here. She's trying to break up a married couple so that woman can go then live the single in your 40s lifestyle along with her. Misery loves company. Watch out who your girl hangs out with, guys. Heather, of course, has refused this, and she's had a happy marriage with Ben and kindly asked Lana to stop. Lana did not stop, and eventually Heather kicked her out of her home and cut off contact with her. Ben was furious when he found out and wanted to confront Lana, but decided not to since Heather blocked her everywhere. But just recently, she's reached out again with an apology, saying that she misses married life and how she doesn't want to be single anymore. Yeah, because she's broke. End of story. If she had the success that she wanted to have, then you'd never hear from her again, bro. This is only because she's broke and she's without options. And her perception of you is you're the type of guy that if she cries enough, begs enough, tells you what you need to hear, then you'll take her back. And you better be careful and don't let your heartstrings be pulled and let that happen. That's the only reason she's back. If she made the kind of money she wanted, enough to sustain the lifestyle that she thinks that she's entitled to, because in her mind, I think she may think she's a celebrity, you never hear from her again. She'd be gone. Maybe to rub it in your face, but coming back to you like this, I want to get back to you? No. And now she wants these friends back. Now she's begging to say I'm sorry with these friends because she's alone. She reached out to Ben to somewhat apologize and said that she didn't mean to tell Heather to divorce him. Instead, she wanted her to have fun. And it was his fault as well for misinterpreting what she said. Gaslighting, twisting it around. I didn't say that. And you misinterpreted what I said. You were telling my wife to divorce me, lady. Come on. Narcissist. Lana also asked them to reach out to me because she wants to reconcile being a family again because she was so alone and she missed her son and husband. There you go. She wants to use them to get to you. And she doesn't miss you guys. If she missed you guys, she wouldn't have divorced you to go start her wonderful business. She's out of options. How she has grown as a person and will be an even better wife/mother now due to having more life experiences. He says in parentheses, please SSM, please enlighten all of us about what kind of life experience she may have gotten. You can definitely tell it better than I can. Lana was trying to convince Ben and Heather that she's now a more complete wife and how she made a mistake by leaving me and that it wasn't too late for me and her to rebuild our family once again. No. In this case, there are no do-overs. You had your chance. Okay, you completely ruined it. They've told me that they are not surprised about Lana's financial situation right now, nor the fact that she is crawling back. She deserves it after being an arrogant and financially irresponsible person for the last 3 years. Lana wasn't always like this, but from what I gather from my son, Ben and Heather, it was the movement that empowered her so much that it brought out the absolute worst in her. Yeah, his ex started getting involved with the FNS movement and those teachings and mindset and all that, so that didn't help the situation. But at the end of the day, she's just an asshole. That's really what it is. And she got what she deserved. He says, I swear, SSM, that she wasn't always like this. She was a good mother and a good wife, but I guess like you mentioned, I was seeing things through rose-tinted glasses, and I have to realize that she is way different now. Yes, my friend, you are seeing things through rose-tinted glasses. Do you think she... Here's a question. I would like to see a parallel universe where you were married to her, but you didn't allow her to spend all that money on the clothes, the car, the shoes, the handbags, the purses, all that stuff that she couldn't afford to try to look like and live a celebrity lifestyle. How long would she have been married to you then? How good of a mom and wife would she have been then? You know, I'd like to see that situation. I don't think it'd be the same. I think that was conditional, like a business deal, that you kept providing that lifestyle. Okay, I'll stay around and I'll keep looking hot and F my husband and be freaky in the sheets and all that, and good mom. I could be wrong, but my gut's telling me this is probably it. This may be hard to hear, and I don't mean to be harsh, but I wouldn't be doing you a favor if I was just telling you what you wanted to hear and sugarcoating all that. This is what I think is going on. After hearing all this, I'm now reevaluating my opinion on Lana. Again, do not worry, as I will not give her any financial assistance, nor will I give her any of my attention. I do believe she will try her best to get into contact with me. However, I've been doing great for the past 3 years without her, and I'll be fine even after that. Thank you, SSM. Have a great day. Yeah, dude, you can guarantee that she is going to keep trying to reach out to you because you are probably her final hope. Her only hope to get back to what she once had. And she will probably tell you anything and say anything and promise anything to get you back to have that lifestyle. If she was deeply in love with you, she wouldn't have left. End of story. You know, but achieving those things and having that lifestyle was more important to her than her good husband, and you were a darn good husband to her, and her son, her child, who she abandoned. This is everything you need to know about her and how she's trying to sabotage your friend's marriage, okay? She's trouble. Cut her out of your life. You don't need to communicate with her. You have no legal reason to talk to her. Your son is now an adult. Done. End of story. Block her on all forms of things. And if she still finds a way to get in contact with you, if this is indeed what you want, I tell you, you've said your piece. We're divorced. It's over. End of story. Fix your own freaking problems. We're done. Do not contact me again. And if you do, there's going to be repercussions. End of story. And again, let your son handle this the way he chooses to handle it. I wouldn't be rubbing salt in the wounds. That's not me. But I don't blame your son at all if he gives her a piece of his mind about how she abandoned him and his views on the whole thing there. He's got every right. And in fact, he probably in a way needs this to be able to move on. It's been just building up inside all this time. But that's just my opinion on this whole thing. But I wouldn't have anything to do with her because I don't want to see you're doing well. You've been doing well for yourself. You mentioned before in the previous story, so I don't need you to have this turmoil and drama into your life because obviously it's something on your mind if you're zooming with your friends about this and thinking about it and talking about it and all that, and writing to me about it. So you got to let her go and move on. You can't move on if she keeps popping in and out of your life and causing you to question things or turmoil or drama and all that. So you got to cut her off, okay? I'm assuming you're mid to upper 40s, about my age, You got plenty of life to live. Just don't let her ruin it. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Again, don't give her any money, bro. And I know you know this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.